you before the second show. In your guitar. Yes.
Is that Luther?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, man. I couldn't tell, man. His accent threw it off. Superstore now. How about that? Nico Santos is here, man.
Hi.
How you doing, Nico?
I am great. I've had my coffee. Y'all fed me. Serious.
Okay.
It's some great company.
Good.
I had an omelet.
Omelet. They fed you here?
They fed me. I was hungry and I didn't have caffeine, and you know what? Y'all provided.
There it is, man.
Yeah.
So is English really your second language?
It is. I was born and raised in the Philippines.
Where at?
In Manila. And I moved to Gresham, Oregon when I was 16.
Culture shock.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. So, I mean, I grew up speaking Tagalog, Filipino, and English.
You felt you had to say Filipino.
I mean,
No, I've been to Manila.
have you?
I was in Manila the year that Manny fought Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you're into boxing at all.
I mean, I know who Manny Pacquiao is.
You know who Manny Pacquiao is?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oscar De La Hoya, he's a designer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He make the gowns.
The fabulous gowns.
Okay.
And I got a chance to watch the fight in that big mall. What's that big mall called?
Which one?
Oh, okay. The one, I think it's on the army. Is it on the army on military base?
There's like, I mean, in Asia, there's just like a bunch of malls. That's
but
the
in
culture.
Manila.
There's Mall of Asia.
Okay.
There's Greenbelt. There's like Quad. There's so much.
Okay, one of those.
It's probably Mall of Asia because it's like the biggest one there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was the biggest shop. And what I found really fascinating is that people they showed the fight in a theater, and and as Manny started to win the fight, people just applauded, but they didn't jump up, they didn't cheer.
Like respectful?
Yeah, it was like the most courteous,
Really?
like boxing fans I've ever seen in my life.
That surprises me because Filipinos usually get crazy.
They get turned up.
Yeah. I feel like yeah.
Yeah. Well, so you're a fair representation of what your average Filipino may be like.
I mean, I may be a little extra, but I feel like in the Philippines apparently, and I've been told by a lot of Filipinos who live in the Philippines that when there's a Pacquiao fight, there's zero crime rate in the country.
Zero crime rate.
Yeah, it's just nothing happens because everybody's just glued to the TV.
Yeah, but he was also in the Senate seat too.
Yes, listen, as a Filipino, I am very, very proud of what he's accomplished.
Yeah.
Manny is a problematic figure. But he's done a lot for the country, for Filipino pride. He's helped the country a lot. He is a crazy religious zealot who's very anti-gay, very homophobic, very transphobic. So I'm like, good on you, Manny, for putting the Philippines on the map. You hate my people. Not the Filipinos, my other people.
Right.
But so I can't support that.
Right. No Manny for president.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll pivot the conversation.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's been on the show too, by the way.
Not
Let's call
on this
Manny
chair?
up.
On this chair?
That chair right there. You put your ass where his
Oh
ass.
my God.
But you know what? So has was she Miss Universe or Miss America?
Oh, Miss Universe.
Pia Wurtzbach?
Yeah,
yes,
she was
okay.
there.
Really nice. She was cool.
She's lovely.
She did
She's
karaoke.
gorgeous. Well, we're Filipino. We all do karaoke. I mean,
so
like,
hype.
let me get my magic mic right now. Hold up.
Yo, when you moved to Oregon, at 16 as a teenager, how did the community receive you?
Well, there were no Filipinos in Oregon, in Gresham. There was a larger the only Asians in Portland and Gresham area were Vietnamese, and people kind of just assumed that I was Vietnamese, or they just look at me and they look at my last name, just like, you look Chinese, but your last name's Mexican. I don't get it. So it was a hard transition because I was like, there were only like, I think like there was one black person in our school.
Damn.
I was the only Filipino. There was some Latinos, and then a sprinkling of Vietnamese kids. But it was a really hard transition. I went to a private Catholic Filipino school for 15 years, and then I was thrown into the American public school system. And I thought my school was either going to be like Beverly Hills 90210 or Stand and Deliver. Y'all remember that movie?
Yeah.
with Edward James Olmos. I thought it was either going to be one of the two,
either the hood or the suburb.
Either the hood or like a rich suburb, and it was just like this Podunk High School in Gresham, Oregon. But I just remember being excited having my own locker. Because I just grew up watching that in television and movies. I'm like, I finally have a locker. I'm so American. Put my books in here.
Yeah,
it's great.
Did you and the one black student hang out by any chance?
No, he was like, we gotta stick together. He was a football player, and I was like in drama club. So no, we did not hang out.
All right, man. Well, man, Nico Santos is hanging out with us.
I love Nico.
You like Nico? What do you like about Nico?
Everything, because he just let us know. His sweater was Gucci. He smells really nice. He sang Luther. Everything.
Yes.
Nico, this is for you.
I wanna tell you, baby.
Oh, let it go. Let it go. Express it.
The changes I've been going through. Missing you.
888-742-3345. Talk with Nico Santos.
I love you.
Luther Vandross. Sway in the morning. Special guest Nico Santos on lead.
What?
Thank you for playing that. Thank you. You just gave me life.
That was the purpose, man. That was the purpose. If you haven't watched Superstore on NBC, you definitely should watch it. Nico is a very charismatic character, to say the least.
Very colorful.
Very colorful.
Yeah, you know what?
A lot of layers to that character.
He's not a wallflower.
Yeah. How is Mateo different from you?
Well, certainly the lines are blurred. Okay. There's a lot of similarities. I think I'm probably a lot nicer. I'm not probably. I am a lot nicer than Mateo. I'm not as shady as he is. Mm-hmm. But they've taken a lot of my background and really incorporated it to Mateo. Because when Mateo was originally written as a straight Latino guy, like super hetero Latino guy, and when I auditioned for it, I kind of just sort of tweak the character to fit it more my personality, because I can't really play super butch, so you know what I mean. I mean, like I can play but somewhat, but like there's only a limit to my acting abilities. So I kind of just tailored it to a character more similar to me, and they really liked the interpretation, and they changed it.
And they changed it, super butch.
Super
that
butch.
seemed like a movie coming to theaters near you.
Yeah.
Super butch.
Coming this fall.
Super butch.
Super butch.
We got Ken from LA on the line. What up, Ken?
What up, kid?
Hey.
What up, man? That sounds like a good movie idea, Super Butch. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, Heather B?
Hi.
Ken Whittingham. This is Derek's cousin from the Bay. You know, I call in every once in a while.
Good to hear your voice, Ken.
Yeah, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Nico and tell him congratulations on the pickup of the season.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward. I'll be over there in October to do an episode. And I'm looking forward to it. This dude is really one of the funniest cats I work with, Sway. And this cat is so funny. I really look forward to working when he's in the script. So last time I think I saw you, we were doing a baptism with you, washing your sins away.
Oh my God! Yes, that episode when I got baptized by Glenn. Yeah, you know what? I got a cold after that episode because they kept dunking me in that water, and then it was cold. It was hot and cold and hot and cold, and I needed to
break it down. Go
So
ahead.
this is what I'm thinking, Ken. Since we have the director here and a principal, we could just write in like a Sway in the Morning episode, something, on your way to work.
I would love that.
Doing that.
I mean,
you won a radio contest thing and you got to come into a radio show and
That's
co-host, and you just say the most outlandish shit and get in trouble, and they think about firing you and bringing you to HR.
yes, we miss you. Come back.
Yeah, and then you could sing Luther, and then our fans get upset because he's playing Luther all day. Yeah, hey Ken, you directed on Superstore?
Couple of times.
Ken?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. That's my. I do Blackish, Superstore, not every comedy, but just about every comedy in Hollywood.
That's fire.
Ken, I'm not just saying this, but Ken is one of my favorite directors to work with.
Really?
I'm not just saying that. Ken is great. He he knows what he wants from an episode. He knows the direction of the comedy that he wants, but he also allows us the freedom to sort of let her do our thing. It's really it's a great working process with him.
Well, that's what's up, man. Okay,
Yeah.
Ken, we're available.
Can
All
make
right,
it
all right,
make it
cool.
happen. Make it happen. I'm gonna talk to Justin.
All right, let's make it happen.
All right,
All
cool.
right,
Ken, you're a citizen, man.
Sway the morning.
All right, Taz is on the line from Texas.
Taz,
what up,
what's poppin', baby?
Good morning, Sway in the Morning crew. Good morning.
Hey.
So I am in love with Superstore. I didn't first start watching it. My husband did, and he is going to shit when I tell him that I got to talk to Mateo.
Well, damn.
Hey, girl.
Smell like shit back here.
Just wear some Depends, honey.
Hey, is that all you wanted to say, Taz?
Well, no. I mean, I love the show. I love him and Cheyenne's relationship. I think it's hilarious.
Thank you very much.
When he asked Siri about fart ingredients, I literally almost fell down my stairs. It was so funny.
I get tagged in Twitter a lot for that one particular line where I asked Siri fart ingredients, and I know people love that line. People love that.
That's
line.
a powerful line.
Yeah.
You know, all the greats have that powerful line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lou Ferrigno. Oh, not Lou Ferrigno, but Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Fart ingredients.
Fart ingredients.
Clint Eastwood.
Fart ingredients. Yeah.
Now Nico Santos.
Fart ingredients.
Yeah,
Fart
brother,
ingredients.
Right there, man.
Yeah.
You up there, baby?
That's my tag. That's my
All right.
tag.
Okay, now we had Ronnie Chang come up here recently. You familiar with
Ronnie.
That? Yes.
Yeah, we filmed Crazy Rich Asians together. He's the best.
These people aren't just rich, they're crazy rich.
Now, you really should have told me that you're like Prince William of Asia.
That's ridiculous. Much more of a Harry. Mom, this is Rachel Chu.
She just thinks you're some like unrefined banana.
No. Those are 3 fingers.
Yellow on the outside or white on the inside.
Yo, it's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor. Well, you, not me. Oh, God. She can't know I was ever here.
Crazy Rich Asians. He talked about that a little bit, too.
He did, and it was cool because, you know, you being Filipino, and then there's also other Asian people incorporated into the film as a whole. Mm-hmm. And you got Ken Jeong, you got Awkwafina. There's so many people that portray this huge family that this woman goes into. And so just on the set, is there a difference between like Filipino comedy and say like Chinese comedy or Korean comedy, or, you know, or is it all just kind of...
It's I mean, like, yes, I'm sure there are differences. I'm not too privy to what those differences are. I've never been exposed much to Korean or I know Japanese comedy tends to be a little wackier if you've seen their game shows and stuff like that. Filipino comedy is a little more slapstick. But you know, we were making an American movie, so I mean, and all the actors who were working on it had that sort of like American sensibility when it came to comedic timing. But everybody in that cast was so great. It was really great to have an international cast because we had Asian Australians and Asian Americans and people from Singapore and China and Philippines, and yeah, it was just like an amazing cast of people to work with. Like I didn't know what to expect when I got on set, but when I got there I was like, everybody on their game, so this movie is going to be amazing.
And let me ask you, because you know, we hear a lot about inclusion in Hollywood being a big deal right now, and you know, like with Black Panther being an all black cast first to get, you know, #1, and then now you have Crazy Rich Asians, which is going to be an all Asian cast, and so not everybody's making a big deal about that the same way they do about certain other movies. Do you feel the same way? Or
I feel like the Asian community, I mean, like I do know that Asian community is very, very excited about this movie. When they seem to be a little more quiet when it came to Crazy Rich Asians. I mean, Black Panther was so huge and the movement was so big, but I have no doubt that it's gonna sort of turn out the same way. It's just for some reason it's a little more down. But I mean, like come August, everybody better show up at that movie theater, buy them tickets.
Let's
you know,
go.
because I mean, like you know how Hollywood works. It'd be like, we're not gonna make another one for another 25 years. If y'all don't, yeah, this is your shot.
This is it.
So y'all better make some money.
well, Nico, thanks for coming by,
Hell
man.
yeah,
we had a good time hanging out
for
with
having
you.
me.
Yes.
Nico
Yes.
Santos, catch him August 17th with Crazy Rich Asians, and then also check him out on Superstore on NBC.
just got renewed for season 4.
Yeah,
Season 4.
More money, more money.
Very excited. Very excited.
All right, cool. We got another person of Asian persuasion coming up next.
There we go.
Better not be Manny Pacquiao.
Now Karuchi is here. Karuchi Tran. Yes, you know. Yeah, she's here. She coming up next. You want to talk with Karuchi? 888.
How's Karuchi doing?